How you doing? It's the Butcher here, and today I wanted to make a video going over the difference between additive damage multipliers and multiplicative damage multipliers, because they are a huge deal in this game, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to understand. So I wanted to make just a quick video, very concise, just showing it off, and I thought the way it would be easiest was using the Necromancer, and specifically using this right down here, which you'll see is from the Book of the Dead. It's sacrificing your golems for 30%, and the first thing to note here that's very important is it's multiplicative when you see the little X in parentheses behind the percentage. So as you can see, it's 30% multiplicative critical strike damage, as compared to something like, let's say my ring here is 23.3% additive. You see there's no little X behind it. So I'm going to break down the math and show you kind of exactly what's going on and how we're getting some of these numbers and why multiplicative damage is so good. If you've watched build guides and things like that, you probably hear people saying multiplicative a lot, and why it's, you want to take this because it's multiplicative, and it might not make a whole lot of sense to you, but I'm going to try to do the math quickly. I actually have my notepad here with the math already done, so I'll just kind of go through it with you. I'll highlight everything so you know what I'm talking about, and you can see exactly how this works in hopefully a short and kind of concise format. So first things first, this is actually my second time recording this video, because the first time I didn't have my mic plugged in, so that was unfortunate. But looking here, we have a critical strike damage of 400, or damage multiplier of 424.9%, and that is including the 30% multiplicative from the Book of the Dead. So if we take this off, that number is going to drop down to 303.8%. So a very big difference. So how do we arrive at this number is basically what I want to go through. So if we bring up our handy dandy little notepad here, you could see I have down our base is 303.8. And then after that bonus from the Book of the Dead, we have 424.8. And there is a little bit of rounding involved. It only goes up to 1 decimal point. So I think one or two of these numbers might be like slightly different, off by like 1/10 of a decimal point, and that's why if you do the math for yourself, you might see that. But I figured I'd go through this quickly, have the math already done, and then if you want to either do my math or do the math in your own character, you'll know how. So how do we arrive at our after bonus number here, the 424.8? That's really what we want to try to figure out. So the first thing you would think to do, if you didn't really know about multiplicative versus additive, is the way most things in the game works, like your rings and getting it on your sword or whatever it might be, is just add that 30% to your base, the 303.8, plus that 30%, you would get 333.8, and that is obviously significantly lower than what we actually get, and pretty much 90%, or excuse me, about 90 percentage points lower than what we actually get. So, then if you understand that's multiplicative, the second thing you would think to do is just take, your base, your 303.8 times 1.3 or 30%, and you would think that would give you your number. But that gives us, as you can see right here, 394.9, which is still less than our bonus. So the third thing you would think to do would be to add the 30%, so giving us a base of 333.8, and timesing that by 30%, which gives us 433.9, which is actually over our bonus. So finally, bringing us to the way this actually works is you have your base. So I'll start over here actually. So we take our base and we times that by the 30%, and that's going to give us 394.9. But again, that's lower than what we get. So what happens is, after you get that number, it takes that number and then it adds 30% additive as well, giving us 424.9, or obviously, like I said, there's a little rounding, 424.8. But that is how we arrive at that number. So that is the reason multiplicative is so important, because you can see the difference between, if it was just 30% additive, it would be 333.8 compared to 30% multiplicative, which ends up bringing it all the way up to 424.8. And I was going to dive a little bit deeper, but I think that gives you an overview. But I do want to mention these do work off each other. So the more additive let's use critical strike damage as an example because that's what we're using. The more additive critical strike damage, the more of a bonus you're going to get from that multiplicative damage multiplier. Compared to, and it also works the other way, where the more multiplicative damage multiplier you have, so let's say it was up to 40%, the more bonus basically you would get from that additive damage multiplier. So it's important to have both, but as you can see here, with this number compared to this number up here, multiplicative is huge, and that's why you'll see some huge damage numbers is the Bone Spear Necro, and that's one of the reasons why you can get such huge damage numbers with it, is because you can sacrifice that final book of the Dead and take that massive 30% multiplicative critical strike damage multiplier. So that's gonna be it for the video. I know it was pretty short, but I wanted to be concise. If you do have questions, any more questions on how this works, please feel free to drop them in the comments. You know, I can do some more digging. I don't even understand probably the full extent of it as well too, but this is how I understand it, and I think this is the easiest way to understand it. So hopefully I broke it down well for you guys. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. I'm trying to get this channel off the ground, and with season 2 right around the corner, I'll definitely be coming out with a lot more videos, and hopefully you can use this to make some builds for yourself so you understand how they work better. But this was The Butcher. That was the video. I'll be back at you again soon.